Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Pisces energy. And like usual, we're going to do two rows. The top row we'll refer to as high vibe Pisces energy, and the bottom row as a more worldly, shadowy Pisces energy, because we all have our dualistic nature and we have to make decisions in life. And we have to take into consideration our more worldly nature, our more hopeful, believing nature. Is love going to be the deciding factor? Hope and faith and belief in our dreams? Are we going to get caught up in our more worldly nature, in our pride, in our ego, in our fear, in our insecurity, codependency, lust, or greed? And then we can know different types of people in our life. There is some people in our life who are more aligned with our high vibe energy, who are loving and encouraging, and we could have some people in our life who like us in our more worldly, shadowy energy, because then we'll hang out with them and be in a relationship with them. So some people could be struggling within themselves about how to keep moving forward in their life, who to keep moving forward with. Some people could be thinking about making a change in their life, and that could be, the shadowy energy can be a way we were living our life and kind of going to the next level of life, facing our fears to grow and heal and mature ourselves and move forward in life differently. And when we do that, of course, we might have to leave some old ways of being behind, and that can mean we leave some friendships maybe behind. Same way if we were to move to go take a different job somewhere, right? To a different city. So we all tap into Pisces energy. It has to do with our dreams and what we find emotionally fulfilling. And some people have illusions about what it means to be in relationships, and we gotta see the truth of that also. Some people are quite immature or prideful or egotistical, and not everybody views life the same way as everybody else, because life is about learning all these different lessons. And some people haven't learned how to play nicely with other people. Some people can be quite, again, have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. So listen to where you might be at the story. Listen to your intuition about other people in your life. The reason for the reading for the top row is the Lover's card. And the reason for the reading in the bottom row is the King of Pentacles. So this could be our more loving nature, what our more loving nature would like us to do. This could be our more worldly nature, and what our more worldly nature and egoic nature, maybe fear, codependent nature would like us to do. Up here we have the Hermit, the Devil, the Death card, the Two of Cups, and the Two of Wands. Our loving energy would like us to go within to figure out why we have these fears and insecurities that stop us from transforming our life. The Scorpio Death card is about death and transformation. Why do we have a problem about transforming our life? It would require that we look at life differently, that we might detach from some things and people that we invest our time, energy, or thoughts or emotions into. High vibe energy wants us to look at what blocks us, what stops us. When we see the truth, because the truth sets us free, but it does take work and effort. And that's why some people that we could want to be in a relationship with won't move forward with us in a relationship, because in order for them to move forward with us, they would have to work through those same issues within themselves. Why don't they, in the Two of Cups and the Two of Wands, Cancer and Aries energy, why aren't we more motivated and inspired to align with our more hopeful, believing, loving nature? The Lover's card is Gemini energy, which is a dualistic sign, and it talks about our dualistic nature. What is our truth? We have free will. Are we going to believe that we can manifest our dreams into reality, aligning with our more hopeful, believing, loving, intuitive nature? Or do we think we need to live more from our mind than our heart, work with these things more of the world, make our life more about these things of the world? What's most important to us? And we can all be tempted in our worldly nature to stay in certain jobs, friendships, and relationships with people Because of stability, security, money, status, all those things, right? Those things are all important. But high vibe energy is about wanting a balance. Yes, I want these things of the world, but I also want deep, meaningful, authentic, loving, inspiring relationships. But there's some people in the world who don't want that. They don't want to authentically do love because you get hurt doing love. And they might operate more from their ego nature. The bottom row starts out with the Queen of Swords. I've been hurt before. I have been betrayed before. I have decided, in the Judgment card, that my more hopeful, believing inner child nature that used to have some dreams, that I've kind of decided to live more from my mind than my heart now because I did that before and it didn't work out the way I wanted. So now I've called judgment on my more hopeful, believing, loving nature. And I've decided in my Pisces energy, I'm going to make my life about the world. I think I'm going to go invest in these things of the world that I'm going to go indulge in. I'm sure those things will make me happy. Or I'm going to go make my life more about money and materialism and status and image, or my looks, or my charm, or how much power and influence and social clout I have. And maybe if I have those things of the world, other people who felt betrayed, who don't quite believe in themselves and their dreams, will come invest in a relationship with me because I have these things of the world. And then they'll stay in a relationship with me because I have those things of the world. And it'll be like creating this illusion of how wonderful our life is. But it might be because we weren't bold and brave and confident enough to really do love. Because we'd been betrayed before. So we decided not to do that. And that's people's free will choice. And some people live their life like that. I'm not going to do love. I'm going to go indulge in things in the world instead, make it more all about me. If I do get in a relationship, it's going to be more about me. You know, we can be more about ourselves if we want. People have to defer to me. If I'm in defensive energy, then people have to stay in a relationship with me being defensive. And some of you have been in relationships with people who are like that, and you felt betrayed. It's like, are you going to let your more authentic inner child nature out to play in the world? Because I'm letting my more authentic inner child nature out to play. Because throughout my life, I did learn these lessons that if I let my fear and my insecurity and my defensive nature run my life, it's going to stop me from having these deep, meaningful, loving, inspiring relationships that I want to have. And I did that work to free myself from that. And, you know, that's what high vibe energy is about, freeing yourself from these things that manipulate you, not putting you in non-life giving energy of the death card. I'm going to stay in my fearful nature, my shadow nature. I'm not going to do love. I'm not going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to live more from my mind than my heart. I'm going to be defensive. I'm defensive to love now. Well, life's about learning lessons. We need to see the truth about different people that we've invested in our life. We've all been more immature. Sometimes we got in relationships and people got in relationships with us and we were kind of immature. And relationships didn't work out the way we wanted. Are we going to give up our dreams of love because we were young and immature and other people were immature? Some people that we got in relationships were adults, but maybe they made their life more about these things of the world. Well, we could have even looked up to and admired them, but that was their choice. Maybe we felt some people could know people in their life. You know, we have to be willing to deal with the truth. And everybody does what they need to do in their life, right? Some people could know some people that they did look up to and admire. And those people, they could have felt that those people were maybe a little deceptive, that they could have gotten in a relationship more because of the stability and security and things like that, and not really based on love. Some people, well, hey, you know, what's going on in your life? Who are we to judge and whatever? Let them live their life. Some people, though, it could have been confusing to them growing up, being in a relationship with people who they felt kind of weren't in a relationship for love, but they could have gotten along well enough. It could have looked very successful by worldly standards. I mean, the thing is, there can be love there. Is it maybe a deep, meaningful relationship? I mean, you can have a lot of affection for someone and you get along well enough. And, maybe people wanted to have a family, and, it kind of gets to maybe that stage in life where, if you're going to have a family, you kind of feel like you need to get in a relationship with someone to have a family. Some people could have found it kind of confusing because they could have felt people were hiding that it was more because of the devil can talk about these things of the world. And the Scorpio card can talk about that it kind of could have been a little more deceptive, not really authentically love, that it could have been a little bit more of emotionally shallow, superficial relationship. And people could know people who live their life like that. They could have grown up in a family that was like that. Some people, though, can have a hard time just admitting that to themselves. But because they could have grown up in families where people were in relationships more for these reasons, and, they could kind of incorporate that into their philosophy of life and view those people as a role model. So now they're repeating that same pattern in their life. And if those people thought that was a good reason to make decisions about why you got in relationships, then they think, because some people just don't tap into their own creative, inspired nature. Kind of can be followers in a way. And whatever things other people do, it's like the cheat notes. Oh, that's how you're supposed to live life. And instead of being inspired to live their own authentic life and listen to their own intuition to guide them, that can be scary for people. Because then they would have to decide to listen to their own more hopeful, believing nature and believe in their own dreams, and they can't follow like that template. You mean I would have to kind of love and believe in myself, and I would have to put in work and effort to kind of like manifest my own thing? And for some people that can be really scary. I can't quite relate, but doing tarot, you realize this about people. And so because it kind of gets them up in their head that they would be doing things differently, which we all like to stay in our comfort zone. And if we grew up in families where people behaved in certain ways and interacted in certain ways, to do things differently can be very scary for some people because it's stepping outside their comfort zone. They do have to let love and intuition guide them to kind of create their own life. And some people really have a problem with that. So some of those people are going to repeat that same pattern. And they're going to do life like those people did life. So they can be trying to find people who, well, you got to find somebody who's willing to repeat that way of viewing life. And that can be difficult because not everyone else is so afraid of just kind of creating their own life, But there can be people who definitely like guidelines and like to color in between the lines and don't like to create their own, write their own story, paint their own picture. I saw someone else write a story, I saw someone else paint a picture, and I'm going to follow their exact thing that they did. So it could be people that really haven't tapped into loving their own more fiery nature. In our fire nature can be all these things that we're kind of motivated and inspired by the world. And some people are motivated and inspired by the world to make their life about the world. And they can know other people that make their life about the world. And that can be the most important thing in their life. I need to have a certain status and image. It's really important that people view me a certain way. I can't go live my more authentic life, And then there's that Bible verse: don't conform to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And in our mind is all these unwritten rules and regulations that we've accumulated through our life about what we should do and what we shouldn't do and what is just and fair. High vibe energy wants people to be independent. High vibe energy represented by God is giving birth to new things. If everybody keeps repeating an old pattern, and if everybody had repeated an old pattern since the beginning of time, and nobody was willing to look at, we keep doing the same things over and over. The devil and the death card can be, we keep doing the same thing over and over and over. Have we learned nothing? Have we kind of seen what things work and what things don't work? And then we were all given the gift of creativity and imagination and intuition. Are all of us going to ignore that? If nobody did ever anything different, we'd still be cave people today. But along the way, people are like, you know what, I kind of had this idea. And then there's some people that are in the world like, no, we cannot do things differently. We have to do things the way we've always done it. And some other people are like, but I was given my creative, inspired, intuitive nature. And there's some things that we're doing that I don't really like. And I think we were given our intuition to kind of come up with new ideas. And I think that's why we were given creativity and imagination to come up with these new ideas. We can manifest things in the world, but some people do not like that. You are not supposed to do things differently. And there's people in the world that are very stubborn and stuck and refuse to look at life from any other perspective. That would be like shadowy Pisces hangman card. I refuse to look at things from any other perspective. This is the way it's supposed to be done. This is the way we do it. And if these people lived in their own part of the world and they were cave people, they'd still be cave people today. Other people in the world have come up with indoor plumbing and light bulbs and cell phones and airplanes and heart surgery, But those were the people who were bold and brave enough to listen to their more creative, inspired, intuitive, loving nature, that I am a manifester. I can create new things in the world. Same way in the world, back, I mentioned it in another video a while back, when the Beatles and Elvis Presley came out. Oh my gosh, people were calling for them to be arrested. That was atrocious. Those people shouldn't have changed music. And the way we had music, that was the right kind of music. And nobody should add or take away from any of this. It's like stifling people's creativity. And that's what the devil and non-life giving energy is about. Do not give birth to anything new. Do not listen to your intuition. Do not love and believe in yourself. Do not shine your authentic life. Make your life about conforming to the world and letting all these things manipulate you and oppress you and imprison you. And you could have been in a relationship with someone who is like that. Or just someone you thought was immature, someone you thought was kind of egotistical and all more about themselves, someone who you thought could have been deceptive and manipulative, somebody who you felt maybe was more of a social climber or more about ego and image, and you could have felt betrayed. And other people were trying to, you could have even felt like they created the illusion, because that's shadowy Pisces energy. They were trying to create the illusion that they were willing to bring this dream into reality based on love. But as time went by, you could have felt like they were being deceptive and manipulative, that more what drives and motivates them in their truth is that this is good for my ego and my image. And I might have met someone when they felt betrayed because some other relationship didn't work out. I'm not aligned with my more hopeful, believing, loving nature, but hey, if I were to get in a relationship with you, that would be really look really good for me, and I'll create the illusion I'm going to do love. But as time goes by, you realize it's more the illusion of love, and what really drives and motivates them is that it's good for their ego and their image and their status, and they have someone to indulge themselves in a relationship with, but it's not really a deep, meaningful, loving relationship. And eventually we might speak our truth to some of those people. And some people are doing that right now. Other people already did that, where it's like, I have a dream and I've been being loving and encouraging and authentic and trying to keep things in perspective and look at life from the bigger picture and be nurturing and encouraging and supportive. But eventually I can't keep staying in denial of the truth that I don't think my dream's ever going to come into reality, because you have some ways of viewing life that are different than me. Your idea of the dream life or the dream relationship is different than mine. You might be okay with a more worldly relationship, a more superficial and shallow relationship, and I'm not. And eventually people love themselves to say, I wish you peace, and everybody deserves to be in relationships with people who are on the same page as them. And I think we found out that we were not on the same page. And while you're doing work within yourself to work through your fears and insecurities and things that manipulate you to free yourself from those things, that's when the person you're in a relationship with also can become defensive to you, because you're not the person that you were before. Maybe before you were more codependent. Maybe you were more caught up in these things of the world or indulging in certain things that you had in common or something. But then as time went by, you could have realized that, I feel like I'm kind of not living my authentic life or growing to my full potential. And sometimes as we go through life, we kind of learn that we have certain things that kind of motivate and inspire us, or unique talent, skills, and interests that we didn't even know we had. And then we kind of want to start maybe investing in those things, and we got to face our fears and insecurities about listening to our intuition to believe, I do think this is something I'm kind of interested in and I'd like to pursue more. And sometimes you don't even know what a unique talent, skill, or interest that maybe you'd like to start a business with or something, sometimes till you're 30 or 40 years old. And then the people in your life maybe don't like that, because no, we got in this relationship and this is how I envisioned it being. And you weren't supposed to grow and heal and mature yourself, or maybe even invest in your own unique talent, skills, and interests. You were supposed to maybe make your life more about me and kind of focus on me. And you were not supposed to have your own things that you like to pursue. you know so for all those things, some of you could have gotten a relationship out with some people, or left a job, or you could have just felt like over time someone seemed to, people can get spoiled in a relationship. If you're a very loving, giving, nurturing person, you put a lot of work and effort into a relationship, eventually sometimes people start to feel entitled to you being that way, and thinking the reason you do that is because of them instead of because that's who you are. And then they start to think you should kind of indulge me in that way, and I can kind of be defensive to you, or maybe I think you love me, and I think I can kind of treat you whatever way I want, kind of get my ego, and I think you'll just keep wanting to be in this friendship or relationship, that I just think you'll keep kind of wanting to invest in me because that's the kind of person you are. And eventually people can get tired of that. It's like, when did you start to think this relationship was kind of more all about you? Love is supposed to be equal give and take, where you treat each other the way you like to be treated. And I'm starting to feel in the Seven of Swords that you're kind of a little bit more about yourself. And we seem to have gotten on different paths of how we thought this relationship was going to move forward. And I've kind of seen the truth of how you're acting, and that's not a path I want to keep going down, so I'm going to maybe kind of distance myself from you, and I might start investing in some other people and invest my time, energy, and effort into myself or other people. And then some people can get mad because they did kind of get used to you maybe kind of looking to them as someone that played this like nurturing or supportive person in your life, and they like playing that role in your life, but then over time they don't like that you're becoming more independent. If you get, we've all been more codependent, and some people like us being in our more codependent energy. They like that relationship dynamic. The only thing is, we all, well, some people, you heal and grow and mature yourself, and then you want a more just and fair and balanced relationship, and you're no longer looking to them to kind of play that role in your life. You want equal give and take, and then some people don't like that relationship dynamic. You can leave, I'll go find someone else who's kind of codependent and wants to look up to and admire me and look to me for advice and all these things, and I'll repeat that pattern with someone else. And the reason you could have been drawn and attracted to them is because you can also be a loving, nurturing, supportive person. It's just that you do want people to heal and grow and mature yourself. But the other people can seem a lot like you, but it's just that subtle difference and kind of what drives and motivates people. And that's why you can be in relationships with people for a really long time until you realize this subtle difference. And it doesn't really even occur in the relationship until you do start having your own things that you kind of really want to pursue and invest in. And that's when they can get upset. Well, you've changed. You have these things that, it used to be kind of more all about me. Now you have your own unique things. It's like, well, I'm my own unique individual. And I do have my own things that I like to spend time with and pursue. And then they don't like it. And then they might want to not be in the relationship with you anymore because you don't look to them the way they like you to depend on them in a way to play that role in your life. And they might not want to do a more just and fair relationship because a shadowy relationship is kind of tipped out of balance. So they maybe didn't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. You didn't want to be in a relationship with them anymore. Some people are going through that process right now, but everybody could kind of, not with everybody in our life, it can be a friend, it can be a sibling, it can be an adult child. I don't really like hanging out around you anymore, And then we have to do this work within ourselves about our own fears and insecurities, about kind of emotionally distancing ourselves or detaching from people. And the Scorpio death card, Scorpio is about those deep emotions we have for people and all these complex emotions. I hate them. I love them. I don't want to talk to them. I hope they call me tomorrow. And we've got to work through all of that. We are these emotionally complex people. And really work through, do I feel like I did everything I could? The only person I can change is me. I can see where I need to heal and grow and mature myself. If I felt like I was being loving and nurturing and supportive, what about the people I was in relationship with? Maybe they aren't who I thought they were, and maybe they were more defensive than I realized. Maybe they were more worldly and ego-focused or self-focused than I realized. Maybe they were more codependent or immature than I realized. Maybe they just weren't who I thought they were to begin with, and I kind of got caught up in the illusion without really seeing the truth. And I could have been manipulated by my own want for these things in the world that I wanted to manifest, and these dreams I had. And, in shadowy energy, our judgment can be clouded because of these things of the world that we want to manifest and have in our life. But if eventually it really starts to cause us some mental conflict about how we're going to move forward and what we love and what we find emotionally fulfilling, with some people in our life, we might have to do this work to emotionally detach from them. And then we have to do this work to love ourself. The Two of Wands, Aries energy, is about the self. Do I love myself? Was I more codependent? Do I believe in myself? Do I think I'm worthy of love? Do I think this life that I'm living is loving to myself or the people that I'm hanging out with? Do I think they have my best interest at heart? Do they want me to grow and mature myself to my full potential? Live my authentic life? Or are they trying to make me live life like they live life? And if they're not being more bold and brave and authentic in the world, they might not want me to be that way. If they live their life a certain way, they might want me to live my life a certain way. Because if I go live my life differently, that might cause them mental conflict about how they're living their life. So they might try, whether they're a family member or a friend, they might try to do things to confuse us, either about the other people in our life that we could go hang out with, or try to get us up in our head, up in our fear, up in our insecurity, to make us keep moving forward the way we've been moving forward. Because it could just bother some other people in our life. Like, well, it would bother me if you kind of freed yourself from things that manipulate you and you go live like the life of your dreams and I'm living my life like this. That would cause me mental confusion and I don't want to deal with it. So I'm just going to try to stop you from doing that. So then we just keep moving forward like this together. And you might know some people in your life that you want to move forward with, and they could have other people in their life that don't want them to be more independent and live their more authentic life. And as long as we start to realize the things that manipulate some of the people that we're in relationship with, whether it's their pride, their ego, their bossy nature, their controlling nature, their immature nature, their want to keep their emotions buried beneath the surface, like, well, then I can't be in a deep, meaningful relationship because you don't let your more authentic, hopeful, believing nature out to play. Well, then I can't have that type of relationship with you. And I want that kind of relationship. Because this relationship can kind of seem more like an illusion and a little more superficial and shallow. And that's not how I want to keep moving forward in my life. I had a dream. And you could almost feel like some people committed fraud when they got, initially when people first get into relationships when you're younger, they might think they'd be willing to do love too. And then they find out they're not. After that, they're definitely held accountable for their actions. Because now they know the truth about themselves. That they did choose to make their life more about the world or their defensive nature or indulgent nature. And it's kind of like the devil got a hold of them. And we've all kind of driven our life off into the ditch and made some things really important in our life that we thought for sure were the answer to our problems and would make us happy. And you see the truth of it. And so because of that, you're able to emotionally detach. And you're going to love and believe in your dreams and go live life the way you want. And odds are, if we're not willing to deal with the truth, we're probably going to go through something painful to try to get us to see the truth. And some people are very defensive to seeing the truth. Some people are very defensive to being held accountable for their actions. Again, some people did act immature. Some people were kind of full of themselves. Some people were deceptive and manipulative. Some people did try to manipulate and control people using these things of the world, or I'll just go get in a relationship with someone else then if you won't do things the way, like, kiss my ass, Now those people want to stay and don't want other people to know the truth about probably what they did. And they could have other people now that, getting in new relationships, that those people are defensive to them until they tell them the truth about why a different relationship didn't work out. Why didn't you keep moving forward in that relationship? I want to know the truth. And if some people aren't willing to kind of be honest, I guess if you were, why not just tell someone that that person kind of is maybe a more bold, brave, confident, hopeful, believing person in love than I am. And I'm just not that comfortable with my feelings. That kind of did take me out of my comfort zone, and just kind of realized, I do kind of like living my life this way and kind of staying in my comfort zone. And they kind of, it's just like having people that are much more bold and brave and confident and outgoing than you are. It's like, I like you, and you and me could go to the movie, and you could come over to my house and we could hang out, but maybe to go out and socialize in the world, I kind of feel like we're not really on the same page, and I might hang out with some different people that are kind of more on the same page as me. But sometimes those people, again, shadowy energy can be ego. They don't want to tell people that maybe they kind of get up in their head. Maybe they're not as confident and bold or brave as they might present themselves to be. And so then they can end up being kind of deceptive and manipulative. And then people can sense that. They listen to their intuition. And some people right now could be, I don't think you're being even honest about why you want to be in a relationship with me. Is it because it's good for your ego and image? Is it because you just kind of want to indulge in a relationship? I don't want to be in a relationship with someone for those reasons. So no matter what a good false mask people wear, like the devil, people listen to their intuition, and they can't control that. So let's go see what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Pisces energy. You're freeing yourself from things that manipulated you, and it's going to transform your life. And if you're not already in a new relationship, I think it's saying you will get in a new relationship for some of you with an Aries, or just other people who are motivated and inspired by love versus the world. What's coming up for you don't maybe see coming? The Six of Swords. Why? Because of the Knight of Swords. In your Gemini energy, you are aligned with looking at life from a higher perspective. A higher truth and justice motivates the decisions you make in your life versus these things of the world and your more worldly nature. And you are going to, some people are just in the process of working through their mental conflict, and you will move forward. You will free yourself from doing this inner work, and you will move forward in calmer thoughts and calmer emotions, because you've gotten to the truth, and it takes time to work through all that emotional confusion and to love and believe in yourself. And as you do that, there's going to be other people. Some people are going to be mad because they were thinking that you wouldn't love and believe in yourself, and you'd maybe come back and do the relationship the way they wanted. Some of those people might try to stop you. Like, you should be in a relationship with me. I was attracted to you. I wanted to be in a relationship with you. This was good for all these reasons. You're like, yeah, but the reason you want to be in it is for those reasons. Or you might have love for me, but I don't know, you got some growing up and maturing to do, and there's more things that manipulate you than you might realize, and maybe talking to them. It's great. We can have people tell us like, oh, so-and-so, and yeah, I stood up for that, and that person or that thing or whatever it was doesn't manipulate me anymore. It's like, oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear that. And then they could think, oh, well, now you should move forward with me in a relationship. And it's like, I'm not going to bother telling you like the other 5 things that I think you need to deal with that apparently you're not bringing up. So apparently you're not aware of it. And it would maybe just make you mad if I did bring it up. So I might just tell some people, you know what? I'm glad, but I've kind of moved on, kind of looking at life differently. I think our relationship has gotten to a place that seems to be a good balance for us. And I'm moving on. Other people are going to come in and defend you because they see that you're on the same page as them, and they are also people who look at life from a higher perspective. and are motivated and inspired by love, and they see you are who you say you are, and they want to be in a relationship with you. So you are heading towards bringing your dreams into reality in truth and love. What about some people who harness a little more worldly, shadowy Pisces energy? Something is going to come up in their life that they don't see coming. And the reason it's going to happen, which is probably some people leaving their life, is because of the Nine of Swords. Again, Gemini energy about what our truth is. If some people have been defensive, critical, immature, kind of deceptive, full of themselves in some way, what they don't see coming, ooh, the whole world? Some people in the world, in their world, are going to detach from them. Why? For one, these people stress them out. And the world is Aquarius, Capricorn energy. I view the King of Swords, or the King of Pentacles, as Capricorn energy, and the Aquarius star here. Some people who would have been willing to give some people the world, if those people were willing to be authentic and loving and grow up and mature themselves. But because these people really have a problem with the truth, some people are done being stressed out about it. I accept the truth. And with the card not showing itself, they maybe won't understand why some people are moving away from them. And the reason and what they don't understand is the World card talks about learning lessons in life. Some other people have grown or healed or matured themselves in some way. They're not the same person they were before. They've done this inner work to free themselves from things that manipulated them. And they're more inspired by truth and love and believing in their dreams. And I think what some of these shadowy people, there's going to be other people who want to be in relationships with them, but it might be other people who reject learning lessons in life, who are hiding. They are more about the world and ego and image and things like that. Those are the things that they're focused on. That is their truth. And they might end up moving forward in a relationship with someone who's like themselves to some degree. Either, yep, it's about looking like a shining star. We should stay in this relationship. We both don't want to see the truth that it's about love or healing or growing and maturing ourselves. We're both on the same page. Let's go live life together because we both view life the same way. It just might be living more from their mind than their heart, that it makes practical, logical sense. And other people were illuminated to the truth that love is what makes it all worthwhile. Otherwise, it's just these things of the world if it's not love. But some people don't want to do love anyway. So if they get in a relationship with someone else who's stressed about love, then that's the right kind of relationship for them to be in. So there you go, Pisces energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.